Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Spirit. I'm Rita G, and we are still exploring with the Palladians. Tonight we didn't finish last week, so tonight we are going over the different types of gods that they talk about and how we ourselves are gods within ourselves. And also we're talking about the free will zone. So some cool stuff. Stay tuned. Here we go. How was everybody's Christmas, New Year's? All good?
All good.
Yeah? Did you cook,
Definitely.
Ken?
No. I went to my daughter's house. She cooked. Actually, her husband cooked.
Wow.
So
Awesome. All right. Lynn, how about you? Did you have to cook?
I have it so easy, Rita.
Oh, I love it.
My sister hosts. I bring an appetizer. I bring an artichoke dip. Everybody like I've been making this dip for years, and that's all I have to do. It's amazing. I,
Oh
I,
man.
I almost feel guilty.
Well, listen, it's all good.
It is all
It's
good.
all good. And how was New Year's? Did you spend it quiet or?
Oh, quiet.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
It is my least favorite
Yeah,
of all the holidays.
I
I don't know
agree.
why, but it's my least favorite. So I'm kind of glad that it's over. Christmas was uh, a little unnerving, but it turned out to be good. So I had a little, had a little bit of a episode happen on Christmas Eve. I had a vagal experience and passed out, and so my pancreas and my um, gallbladder are kind of doing a dance. And so they don't know if it was a stone that got lodged or something, and I passed it, but it was quite a scare for me anyway. So of course there's follow-up tests and all that kind of stuff. So that's why last week I wasn't feeling up to it, but back in the groove and looking forward to moving on with the Palladians.
So
Loving
Rita,
it.
what am I asking? Were you in and out in a day?
I was, yeah, like
Okay.
they kept me for a couple of, but they missed the fact that my lipase was high. They took care of the rest and hydrated me, and oh, my potassium was really low, but that could have been from throwing up. Because after I vagal, like woke up, threw up, and my potassium dropped really low. It was scary. It was
Sounds scary.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. Um, so how was everybody's holiday? Everybody had a good holiday?
I bought
Mm.
myself a new car.
What happened?
I bought I bought myself a new car,
Hey, what'd you get?
a Nissan Pathfinder 2024.
Nice. Nice. That's gonna be me in a few months. I'm kind
Hey,
of can't wait to get kind of can't wait to get rid of my car. So it's
but I'm trying to learn all the
the
gadgets and
gadgets.
the whole instrument panel. Like, where is everything?
I still don't know how to use my radio. It's 3 fucking years. 3 years. I finally said to myself, fuck this thing. I just kept Sirius on for 3 years, and that was the end of that. And I got Christmas music and everything else from it. So anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to see all you guys. Thank you for coming back and not running in the other direction, because this is some heavy shit that we're going down the rabbit hole. Yes, Reggie.
I have a share if it's not too early or if I should wait till later. It's about my awakening experience.
Oh, please, by all means, share.
Okay, so first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. Rita, I'm glad you're well and you're back with us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, as my classmates, some of you already know that I've been going through this awakening process. It's been happening in steps. So, I had a major step a couple of days ago around the new moon. So I'm laying there and I'm listening to music, and one of the songs I'm listening to I got from a spiritual healer, and he said it was coded. I never believed it because I always listened to it. Now I know why it's coded. So I was laying there listening to this song, and it's called A Thousand Angels.
Oh yeah, I know
It's
it.
a beautiful song.
Oh, it's
with
amazing.
it's amazing song. It is. So
Yeah.
I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden, I feel like the person singing is talking straight to me. I'm
Hmm.
like, whoa. And then I feel this guy is absolutely amazing. It's like something out of a movie. I'm laying there, and then I can see this, not see, but feel this angel come to me. And she takes a part of me, and this part of me is screaming. Not just screaming, but you know how babies, when they first come into the world, they have this like guttural, like scream, no tears, but it's almost like a terror and almost like I don't want to leave home. They took that part away from me, and I saw her going away screaming like that, and I felt it. I felt
Mm.
it. And the angel was so calm and just walked her right away,
Mm.
and it was over.
So you feel like they took an aspect of you that was holding you back.
Probably,
Yeah, that's what it feels
probably.
like. Yeah.
But then I was like, is this over? And no, because I feel Archangel Michael coming all around me. And I was like, okay, he wants to talk. And I'm like, what is this about? I was like, oh, wait, I know what this is about. You want to come in and make sure I'm okay with this before you do the last download. And he said yes. And so
Mm.
he allowed me to ask all these questions and stuff. And I'm doing it with the pendulum. And
Right.
I'm asking him all these questions and stuff. And I said, okay, I'm good. I'm ready for the last download. The
Wow.
last one is going to be crazy, Rita. It's going to be crazy.
Crazy. You don't have to tell me. I know what you're talking about.
This
Yeah.
is
Good
something. I
stuff.
mean,
Good stuff. And actually, I'm glad you shared before we even started because they go on to explain tonight how um, each and every one of us that wants to connect to this light, which is information, which is what they've been trying to tell us all along. Light equals information. Darkness is there's no information. So they would prefer that we be in the dark. They meaning the darker entities that try to get in the way of the light. There's no getting in the way anymore, just so you understand, guys. It's a done deal. We had the ace in the hole the whole time. What we needed was the energy to get to a point here where more light could come in. The whole thing was already in motion and planned for hundreds of thousands of years. It's it's that we didn't have enough light here to actually pull it fully in for people to start integrating with that light to get to a point where you're elevated enough to say, oh, I know who I am now. I'm autonomous. I'm here doing this work so that I can get to that place of being that light being, right? That being of light that says, I know the truth. You can't fool me any longer. Okay? And that's where we're all striving to go. All of us. There will be some that will not get there. They're just not ready for it. So it'll be like a lot of people ask me, well, what will happen with Earth? Like, are we going to a different place? No, we're not going to a different place, but we will be operating in a higher dimension than those that are choosing not to go in that direction. We will just be operating in a different dimension. They'll be like, here's the Earth of 3D, and here's the Earth of 4D, 5D. Okay? Those that want to,
Question,
who's that? Who's that?
Bennett.
Then go, babe.
Do you feel that cleaning out past trauma could help us achieve that goal?
There's no doubt in my mind that that is the process. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something that's, I want to say, critical in the sense that, some people go, oh my God, like, how do I do all that? Isn't that hard? Isn't that this? Isn't that that? Some of it is hard. Some of it, if you surrender, is going to be easier. Nonetheless, it has to be done because the more you release, the more light comes in. That's the bottom line.
Check this out. I was nervous about going to Belmonte's to reconnect with family of being there my whole childhood and everything. Today I had to go to Bellevue Hospital for a breathing test,
Right.
intense breathing test. I walked in there and my body turned into an anxiety attack where I couldn't think. I was shaking inside.
Mhm.
I was crying. I reached out to you a couple of times. My grandmother died there 72 years ago, my father's mother.
Mm.
And I walked in and saw that old Bellevue Hospital, and I immediately felt her spirit there. And it was such a hard thing to go through because you sometimes you think you know what your trauma is you have to go through. But what I realized what I went through today was a debilitating almost to a
Mm.
of 72 years ago. She died there. And
Mm.
I felt as if she had just passed. Like she was still, and I had no one to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where to go with it. And I just cried. I just cried.
Well, you were just releasing it, and that's good. See, we've been, especially men, have been taught not to deal with their emotions. They were taught to push them down. And people who have had multiple traumas in their life tend not to want to feel.
Right.
So then they push their emotions down. And then something will come out of nowhere, like today, and pull it the fuck up and out.
Like I couldn't answer questions. Oh shit. Oh, it's fine. And
Yeah.
I became a whole different entity.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's what's going to happen, though. These are things that are going to happen that are going to feel like they shake the shit out of you. But when you get to the other side of it, it's going to feel like, oh my God, like just bring the light. The light is going to automatically come in. So we talked about the 12 strands of DNA. We talked about the reordering of the DNA in our bodies. These are going to be light encoded filaments that have been taken from us many, many moons ago. Those of us who want to connect to the 12 strands again can do that willingly, and you will be supported in that. You will be supported through this whole thing no matter what you choose. But for those of you who want to experience that, I know a guy. No, I know someone that can help you because they're helping me in the process. Now, when that happens, and understand, even when more light comes to you, your nervous system starts to change. It is no longer the same nervous system you had before because now it becomes an evolved nervous system. So anything that scared you before no longer scares you. Everything, when I tell you everything is leaving, it's all going. Everything that you ever knew before, all the lies, all the deceit, all the shenanigans that went on to direct our energy in one direction so that we wouldn't look in this direction to see the truth. All of that is being dismantled as we speak. All of it. So it doesn't matter who you voted for. You could have voted for Kamala. You could have voted for Trump. You could have voted for your sister's ass. It really wouldn't matter. The bottom line is whoever's in now is what's going to help us to get to where we need to get anyway. All the shit you went through as a kid, all the past lifetimes, every one of them is coming up now to get cleared. Not a trace of who you thought you were will be left. You will come into a new body, a new energy, a new frequency, one that you will be exalted, and you'll be like, I totally get it now. I totally understand. I get what they're saying. I know who I am. No one can tell me different. You will not, your core will be so strong, you will not be shaken by anything or anyone. Here's the thing though. Last week I told you we have to learn to discern because there's going to be a lot of people coming to the table going, I know the path. I know the way. I know the truth. And it's just going to be another setup for us to go, for us to think that this is the way. but it really isn't the way. So you have to learn to discern the truth. And the way you do that is to go within. You know it, you feel it, your gut tells you when something is truth and when it is not. You know when something is disguised. You do. You all do. You wouldn't be on this if you didn't know. You wouldn't be sitting here with me. Make sense? All right, I'll take another question if anybody has. Nothing yet. Okay. So we need to explore emotion. I was just speaking to one of my cohorts today because we read for each other. And I said, I got to get in touch more with, I said, because I've had so much trauma, I just throw it right back down. I don't really, something has to happen for it to unleash itself. And she said to me, listen to music and listen to music or watch a movie that invokes it. So I'm going to share that with you. If you don't know how to get in touch with your emotions, find a movie that you know you're going to cry, or listen to a song that you know is it's going to make you lose your shit, so that you can get in touch with that, so that it can come up and out. It's really important that you understand that through your emotions, you start to figure things out. And it's time not to be afraid of that, because emotions will connect you to spiritual awareness. Okay? Make sense?
Rita,
Yeah.
the reason I was desperately trying to get in touch with you, session.
Forgive me. I'm sorry I didn't.
No. It's just fine because it's good to talk to everyone here. I was thinking about how wonderful it would be to start one of these sessions with either a prayer, a song, and we sing it. We read a poem. It's a way of comforting us and maybe getting us to a point of, like, when I do other camps and I do other master classes, we lead in, instead of with a prayer, we music. And music, to me, I'm in touch with this organization that it's called Music for Medical Therapy.
Right.
And it's an amazing group of people, but music is the highest, I believe, not, I don't say it is, I believe is the highest point we can get to as God. When you said to me, I want to play, I heard you say, I need to hear music.
Yeah, it's kind of a multi-dimensional thing. So, play for everybody is something different. For me, it's physical. I'll dance, I'll sing, I want to go bowling, I want to swing a bat, whatever that is. That's play for me. For others, it may be crocheting.
Right.
But I love the music aspect, and I think that's a great idea. That song that Reggie was talking about is absolutely incredibly powerful.
So
And
would
there's another one that I'm thinking of.
Reggie be able to sing it for us in the beginning of a session? And
Oh, I don't know if I could do that, but I'll try.
yeah.
So yes, so emotions, it's just going to keep happening now, because when you connect your emotional body to the spiritual body, you become multidimensional at that point. And that's what we're all in need of remembering. Remember that the Pleiadians, they're very playful, you know this, but they're speaking to the codes that are in you already. We already know all of this. They're speaking to us so that we remember. This isn't anything new that I'm telling you. What you're doing is being awakened to who you already are. That's it. It's very, very simple. It may seem huge, tremendous, astronomical, whatever, because you think, oh, I'm hearing this for the first time, but you wouldn't keep coming back here if it scared you or you were doing it for the first time. We're all encoded, the family of light. Remember, we talked about that. That's who we are. We're all encoded with this stuff, this plan that we came here to do. Now is the point in time where we're getting it out, into onto the earth, we are embedding it in Mother Earth so that people feel it consistently. And the only way to do that is work on you first. It's the only way. We have to work on us. We have to connect to our emotions. We have to release the old shit, anything and everything that is stopping us from being who we're supposed to be. Now, it just means we need to alter it from the inside out. We can't take something on the outside to alter what we know we need to do on the inside. It doesn't work that way. Now, vibration and frequency, like Danette was pointing out, that's why music is so important. It's vibration. It's frequency. When you vibrate at a higher frequency, such as music, it takes you to a place you can actually feel heaven merge with earth. It's incredible. So I will think about that for the next time we're on, as far as the music goes and the song. I got a couple of things in my head, but I'll speak to spirit about it. Now, we talked about portals last week. Did we talk about portals? Nobody remembers that? Kind of lost track of where I was,
Yeah.
but
You did mention them, but I forget how far into it you went.
okay. So in order to come to this planet, we needed a portal to get in. Okay. Some of us came from the Palladians, their star system. Some of us came from Sirius, their star system. But there's portals. And when we talk about portals, like when we talk about in Arizona, that there's portals there, there's energy there, portals of energy that you can open up and actually go in and out of different frequencies and in and out of different levels of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Portals?
Help me out. I'm sorry? Dimensions. Thank you. In and out of different dimensions that exist. Okay. That's how you go in and out of different dimensions, through a portal. You got here through a womb. That was the portal, right? You had a seed merged with an egg. You came through the portal of your mother. That's but there's a bigger portal, which meant that was just the portal in this lifetime. There were other lifetimes that you came through a portal of existence from space, whoever the star system you were connected to. Make sense? Okay. It opens you. Yeah, Ken. Where'd he go? Oh, I can't hear you, love.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. How do we know which star system we came from?
Yeah, that's a good thing. I honestly didn't know till I spoke to who now has become a mentor for me. So she went in and told me that, and initially I came from the Syrian, which is where Christ and Mother Mary come from. But the reason why the Palladians connected to me now is because I needed to play, and I needed to learn through them how to play and then teach in their way. So, and we usually can come
Yes.
from multiple star systems. Usually we experience multiples of them because we've come here so many times to experience everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So even the darkness, even, even some of the lower vibrational energies, we were that at one time. We had to be that in order to know the light. The minute we had this dichotomy of light and dark, when that came into existence, the opposites, because it wasn't always that way, but when that came into existence, we had to learn each aspect of it in order to get back to where we truly are. We had to overcome these things in us. So we did that coming through these portals, and the portals are like corridors, and time doesn't exist in them. So when you go through a portal, you're in a multi-dimensional energy. You can go anywhere. Okay. Some of you do that when you sleep. Most of us do it when we sleep. When our brains aren't saying, does that really exist? I don't know. Is that true? Not sure. Well, you don't have to know because you're sleeping, and that's when they're able to take you out and work on you. And even when I passed out Christmas Eve, I got up and I thought to myself, thank God I did, because I think they were working on me when I did.
Glad
So, what's in it?
glad you thought that.
Well, I mean, after the initial, like, what the fuck? Because it came out of nowhere kind of thing. After that, it was like better my body shut down than to fight it, you know? So,
Can I ask the question quick?
go.
So were any people originally from Earth? Or did everybody come from somewhere else? Like, were there any
To my
people?
knowledge, everybody came from someplace else. Earth was part of the creation of energy, like everything else in this solar system. It was created with energy.
And all the humans came from somewhere else and decided to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what's weird, and somebody else pointed this out a little while ago somewhere. Humans are the only species who first of all who pay to live on this planet, but also we need clothing to protect ourselves. We need certain things to protect ourselves. Like all animals have the skin, the fur, the scales, or whatever to protect themselves from the elements, where humans don't have that.
Mm. Yeah,
One time.
we didn't have to have it before this.
Godfather.
We only have it now because of what we created here. We didn't have illness. We didn't have, like, nobody had autism or, diseases or anything like that. We didn't need clothing because we were energy. We didn't necessarily, and if we had a body, it was a light body. It wasn't like we were looking at each other, go, look at those big fucking boobs, right? It just wasn't like that. We were thinking at a different level than we are now. We've shamed ourselves in this life. The humans have, everybody clothes themselves because of this whole idea is, oh my God, you can't be, who you should be, which is light, really. And yes, we're in the confines of this earth right now, the way it is, but it won't always be this way, and it wasn't this way before. So we've created it. And who created it? Well, I think we spoke about this last week. There is a portal in the Middle East that I said they call them Lizzies or reptilian, the light beings, that the Pleiadians, they call them the lower vibrational energies. They control a big aspect of the Middle East, like 1,000-mile radius underground. And this was many, many moons ago. They inserted themselves there so that they can control with religion. So a lot of drama, so much drama is around religion, right? Politics, religion, all of that. This was all planned out to be that way, to make us, to really dupe us, honestly, to manipulate us, to keep us, in fear and all of that. So that portal still exists there. And you see there's so much turmoil in the Middle East. And it's because those Lizzies exist in that area underground. Now, there are multiple different forms of reality, and it's very hard to grasp that when you're not fully a light being. So little by little, this is why the light, hundreds of thousands and millions of years, has come in a little at a time, so that we got to the point where now we won't implode. Now that the light is here. Okay. So, but make no mistake, they want you to know that there is a reason for everything and everyone and every action and every reaction. Every single thing here, there's no mishaps. There's no coincidences and there's no mistakes. This has been planned out. Here's the difference. We have free will. That's the difference. The earth plane became a free will zone. So multiple entities of all types, good, bad, and indifferent, came here, planted their energies, their seeds, all of that. And it became a mishmash of what you see today. But what happened was they removed the truth from us. One, by unhooking the DNA that we have, and two, by creating such mass hysteria around the world with news and newspapers and all of that, that we just remained in fear and we weren't looking at the truth of what there was. So, again, we got the ace in the hole now. We got the energy that's planted here at this point. Okay. What they're telling me is that everyone and anyone is participating in this. And everyone has. Danette, your grandmother, my father, generations before us, multiple generations before us have all contributed to this. What is our task here? Spirit says, what are we here to do? We're here to stabilize the energy, to stabilize the light. What is light? Light is information. We want to make sure that you remember this. Light is information. So we have this free will zone. We have these ET beings, some of them light, some of them dark. And then we have what's called the guardians of light, which is who we are, which is the family of light. Who are the guardians of light? That is the light within us. That is the blueprint that has been with us generation after generation, hundreds of thousands and millions of years. There's been this blueprint that was already in progress, but couldn't come until the right timing, which was about the right timing when it accelerated, I said was 1987, 1988. That's when it really accelerated. Now it's at monumental speed. What is the light helping us to do? It's bringing up all the old, getting rid of it, clearing us so that we can remember who we are. Okay. They are repeating a lot of this because they want to make sure that this sinks in. This isn't something to like just go over once or twice. They keep repeating things. And I keep saying to them, why are we repeating? And they said, because they have to understand, they have to get it. They're going to listen to this again. They're going to hear us say. And they're going to want to know how to do it. And we're going to tell you how to do it. You have to allow for it. You have to allow the light into your body. You have to be willing to bring the light into the body. You have to be willing to vibrate at that energy. And you have to be willing to get rid of the shit that's in there from the old. You have to be willing to look at things that are hard or scary or maybe that aren't even known to you in this moment.
Bingo.
Well, honey?
Bingo.
Bingo. And that is the trauma. Not just in this lifetime, multiple lifetimes.
Bingo. What we least expect is what's going to clear us.
True. True. It can be that, very much so. We are here to bring mass consciousness of light. We are here to co-create with each other. And the options are limitless. Danette does it with music. Somebody may be a painter. Doesn't matter how we do it. Someone's a healer. Whichever way you want to do it, you do it. But we're all here doing it. Make no mistake about it. So, what we're looking to create for ourselves, inner peace. inner peace, dialoguing with ourselves, clearing doing the work, the child, thank you, doing the work with the child within, creating full acceptance of the self, all this shit that you did that sucked, that was bad in this time, in this lifetime and every other lifetime. Maybe you were a murderer in another lifetime. Maybe you were, a sex offender or something of that nature. Accepting all of it, knowing that we as humans had to experience all of it to get here. And then loving ourselves unconditionally, because each and every one of those experiences got us to where we are today. And this is why nobody, when they're put in a room of 1,000 people, let's just give that as an example, and everybody gets to show each other their shit. Look, this is what I signed on for. Look, this is what I signed on for. Well, I wouldn't pick anybody else's shit. That's for sure. I'd want my own shit to get me to where I'm supposed to be. Because there are people running around going, how come their life is so much easier than my life? You have no clue what another person goes through. None. So you wouldn't walk in a room with 1,000 people with 1,000 different things that they chose to come in with and go, yeah, I think I want that life. We all admire these rock and roll stars and these and the people in the movies and actors and actresses. Their lives are no different when it comes to this stuff. None. And some of them suffer big time becoming those things. That is not an easy life. With all the money in the fucking world, with all the money in the world and what they can do, they're still miserable, some of them. And then there are some that are philanthropists and they do really good here and they're looking to help the masses. Now, when you get to that point where you're wide open and it's like, getting a nut and cracking it and wide open and you see the light come out, right? What happens is there is a space between the fourth and the fifth chakra. They call it the higher heart, where your thymus gland is. That is the area or a chakra area that blows wide open. It's between the fourth, your heart, and the fifth, right in between here. It's called the higher heart. Okay? This is where the nervous system will open up in a different way. So, you think of the nervous system now, you think of anxiety, you think maybe of stress, of this or that. This is very different. Your nervous system will be open completely to that light, to that information that is coming through to regenerate your body. To regenerate, let me repeat that, to regenerate your body and move you into unconditional love. The body can be regenerated at all levels, at any time. When you bring in that unconditional love and you open up that chakra, that higher heart, you anchored that here to the earth, then you realize how multidimensional you are. You begin to fully remember the truth. And you accept everyone for vibrating at the level that they're vibrating at, even if it's not at yours. What'll happen is they'll just fall to the wayside. How many people have you lost already that don't vibrate at your level? How many people have you gained that do? There'll be times where you will need solitude with this. You will need to go in and rest. Your body will say to you, sleep, time to sleep. You will become very strong within yourself, completely informed, because that's what the Pleiadians want. They want us to be informed. You will have and you will know unequivocally the soul's path and what it needs to do. They use the word sovereign. They want each of us to become sovereign and the planet to unite. The original plan was we were this information center for other galaxies, right? That's what we still are that. We're just bringing it back to order. Light gives info, dark withholds information. Okay. Let me just see if there's anything else before I open up for questions. Oh, this is the last thing they're telling me, which is one of the most important things. Let me just make sure I get this right. Okay. Just because someone evolves doesn't mean they evolve spiritually. Now, it's possible to become a brilliant master manipulator. And you're evolving that way, like these energies that they call the Lizzies, right? So it is possible to become a brilliant master manipulator without understanding any spiritual connection whatsoever. Because that's exactly what they're doing now and have done millenniums ago with us. They're
She is frozen, right?
Yeah.
in many ways, but they're not spiritually connected. So don't think that everyone that evolves is spiritually enlightened, because that's not true. That's how they're going to end it tonight. Talk to me. Yes, Janet.
So going back to the portals, are you familiar with, or do you know if there's one in Geneva where they have that large hadron collider? Do you know what that is? At CERN?
No, I don't. I don't know what that is, but
The,
there's, go ahead. That's
the
because I don't
large
watch anything. Go ahead.
the large hadron collider is supposed to, it's something in a tunnel, right? And it moves at like such a hyper speed that it's supposed to transport nanoparticles from one place to another, but it's supposedly being used or has been used for nefarious purposes.
Mm-hmm. I
But
believe that.
yes,
Yeah, Spirit says there's many of those types of portals that are out there. One is in Kuwait. Most of the Middle East is like covered with that. Kuwait is another one. But you have to understand too that there are multiple light portals as well that are around this earth and helping us. So there's not just the darkness.
okay. There was one other thing I want to mention. You know
Yeah,
the Rife machine.
the Rife. Yeah.
Yes. The Spooky 2 Rife YouTube channel has like 1,000 videos of those frequencies on it
Mm-hmm.
that you can listen to right on YouTube without buying the machine. And
Really?
yeah, I was so surprised to find this because I was looking at this channel like 2 years ago, like to look like, they got like how many different models of this machine? How do you know which one to get if you're looking to buy one? And I came across this and like they have all of these frequencies, like 20-minute long things, that you can listen to. You put in, the search in there for the frequency of the playlist, you put in pain, pancreas, diabetes, whatever, like the body organ, the system, the symptom, the disease, the disorder. You put that
Maybe,
in, and
yeah. How do we access it? You just go on
uh,
YouTube?
you go to YouTube to the Spooky 2 Rife channel.
You could throw it in
Spooky.
the chat box, Janet.
I'm sorry, what was that? Can I put it in the chat box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there.
let me get to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
another
it's
way. Like I was
crazy.
going to tell you guys, another great way and what to do is to record yourself with affirmations and listen to it at night when you go to sleep and just keep listening to it. Like record like an hour long or whatever and keep it on repeat and do some affirmations in your voice so that your subconscious gets it and it can connect to your body and it works. What's better than your voice telling you? Right?
So if you go to that channel, that should bring up the search for the frequencies. It should bring up the list. And in the search bar at the top, it already has like that title in it. If you put in another word, you can narrow down your search according to whatever it is you're searching for. Vision, eye, nasal, sinus, rhinite, whatever. You know what I mean? Just put
Perfect.
anything in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
It's pretty cool. I've been listening to it for over a week now, like certain ones for at least a week already. And I'm like, I think maybe it's helping.
All right. Listen, it can't hurt,
Yeah,
right? If it feels good to you, you do it.
yeah.
Okay, other questions?
I have a question.
Go.
So, as they're trying to awaken you,
Yes.
is it possible that they do that and send somebody in a negative way? Like, so I had told you I had this negative experience with definitely somebody coming to me that was not a happy experience. So, but ever since then, I have almost thought differently after trying to clear my home and everything else. So I'm thinking, is it possible that they're just trying to send somebody in a negative way to like
Well, they will,
hell up or
if you're on that path to enlightenment and you're ready to know the truth, they will try and rattle you to see if they, and they'll go to the place where they know, that spooks you the most.
and that's
Right.
exactly what happened to me.
Right. So they'll do that. So if they know that my fear might, would be something with the physical body, and I experience that, that's a great opportunity for me to turn to the light and to the Palladians and say, work through this with me. I want to overcome this piece. Right. So I'm doing that now with what I'm experiencing. But yes, they will absolutely. That's why they love. Wait a minute, what just happened? That's why they love eating off of. I say eating because it's literally eating the energy off of people that do drugs and alcohol, and are constantly vibrating at a lower vibration. So we have to become aware enough not to let the fear overwhelm us, so that we could stay centered. We're human, yes, but this is what we're working towards. We're more than just human. So, good job, Sue. Good job, babe. 1 second, honey. Let me just get Reggie. Go ahead, Reg.
Speaking of negative, I've had a couple experiences I've never felt before about attacks being this close to awakening. There's this supermarket I go to called Wild by Nature, and they sell a lot of organic foods. And so I went to go get some eggs, and this woman stopped me and said, "Oh, you should check your eggs before you get them because sometimes they're cracked in the bottom." And she showed me the eggs and blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I took some eggs and I went and I bought them. I get home, there's a particular frying pan that I use to make my eggs because it's small. The pan is nowhere to be found. I try to hard boil the eggs, and there's something wrong with the eggs that they won't boil. And so I stopped and I asked, "Is there something wrong with these eggs? Did that woman do something wrong to the eggs?" And they say, "Yes, throw the eggs away." I go back to the supermarket to get soup, and another weird woman, her energy was definitely off. She felt like a witch, and I never thought witches like that existed until now. And she's talking to me about this soup, but I got to the soup before she got there. And then she goes away. And I was like, I've never felt spiritual attacks on me before, and I felt it twice in the supermarket. It was so scary that
Yeah,
these
and
people
it's
actually exist.
and it's perfect that they're in like a store that you would think, oh, somebody with a higher vibration would be in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they exist everywhere.
Did you
Yeah.
find your pan?
No, I still haven't found it. And I have a small house, so it's like, where could it be? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
St. Anthony, he'll find it. Finds
okay.
everything. He's the best. Okay, who else had a question? I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, honey.
So my name is Sally Ann. It's iPad. I have to figure out how to put that on there.
Okay.
So people are falling away, like in massive numbers. Like it's really startling.
You mean people are leaving your life
Yeah,
or dying or
yeah,
what
no,
do you-
not dying, not
Okay.
dying.
Yeah.
But there are 3 family members that are no longer speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because that's my Achilles heel,
Yeah. Of
being
course. Yeah.
being the good girl and pleasing everybody and doing for everybody. And I stopped that, so they don't see my role anymore. Like my role has shifted,
Yeah.
and my feeling is that I do know that I'm vibrating at a much higher level, and I this is helping tremendously. Some of
Good.
the stuff is like above my pay grade, but I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there because
Awesome.
yeah, it's important. But so what's come of it is tremendous sadness and grief, and two quite frankly, two pretty serious mental breakdowns in the last 2 weeks. And I came out of it, and still a little raw. But what's interesting is what I'm doing is when I'm able to calm down and stop being hysterical and crying and sort of at a neutral zone, I'm painting, which I've never done in my life. And I'm listening to, I happen to love classical music, so I'm listening to Beethoven, I'm listening to Mozart, and it's like this stuff is flowing out of me, and it's such a gift. And I just look at it as I can't abide the darkness anymore. I can't
Mhm.
abide the drama anymore, and it's so uh freeing, but scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to share that like it's manifesting. So like I'm one of these people that always looks for the sort of the silver lining, and for me the silver lining has become finding new, like, people are just coming out of the woodwork, like new people, and it's presenting itself, and it's so powerful. And then
It truly is.
and the art and just having that as an outlet,
Mhm.
and they're just falling, literally, like leaving my planet. Like that's the way I look at it.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is happening with everyone. Everyone is experiencing this to some degree or another. Some are like you, like they're leaving in droves,
Yeah,
and it's a shock to the system
sure.
because you no longer behave a certain way, and then people go, well, I don't necessarily like that because we had an agreement. Well, you had an agreement. We no longer have an agreement. There's a new agreement now, and if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But I'm not changing. I'm not changing
Not going
back.
back.
Not
Not going
going back.
how I feel.
Right.
I'm not going back to the dishonesty and the lack
Right.
of, it's a such a base energy, and I've transcended it.
Yeah.
And I've tried for a long
Lovely.
time to be down there with them. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It refuses to work,
100%.
which is interesting. Thank you for letting me share that. It's been
Oh my
interesting.
God, it's lovely. I mean, the fact that you feel safe and comfortable enough to share is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yes, Suzanne.
Uh, I'm relating to what Reggie and is it Sally Ann?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
what Reggie and Sally Ann said, like, and tying it back to what you had said earlier about, I may not be using the right words, but that everyone we're being tested in our own individual way.
Yes.
And I was going to ask this at the very top, and then as I listened, I was kind of getting the answer. So the way that I've been being tested, which is unique to me, it's been kind of odd. So the backstory is that I was raised Catholic, very devout Catholic, and I was a very devout Catholic until I was 21, and I went to a Catholic university, and now I'm a member of a Catholic parish, and because I like the music program there, and I sing in the choir, and
It's beautiful.
yeah, it is. It is. It's just like a really beautiful expression. But in terms of, am I a practicing Catholic? I don't know. I don't even know what that means anymore.
Right.
And but all of a sudden, people who have known me for a very long time have started identifying me as a Catholic and attacking me for being Catholic,
Wow.
like being very anti-Catholic. And it's weird. It's very weird. And at the same time, like in my world, I've just been noticing how many scientists are talking about how we're on the cutting edge of consciousness, understanding like the extraterrestrial forces that are here on the planet, and how
Yep.
these are just going to completely upend our understanding of God and religion.
Mm-hmm.
And but they're saying it in like a kind of a negative way, not like like my belief could be wrong, is that the more we know about science, the more religion and science are going to come together, that religion and spiritual understanding are, it's everyone's trying to answer the question, which is what is the mystery of life and the meaning of life, and everyone's coming at it from a different angle. But I think that the more we explore it in our own personal way, whether it's through science or through art or through meditation or through you know, belief and deeper understanding of spiritual practices like telepathy and the Akashic records and things like that, the more we dig into it, we're all going to end up at the same place. That's sort of what my belief is.
Yeah, and it's true because everybody gets there differently.
Right.
You know, everybody gets there differently, and everybody's going through the process differently because we all have different traumas that we're connected to. Some
It's from the
physical, some
traumas.
emotional, some spiritual. I can tell you that you can have scientific principles, right? And technology. But if you don't have spirituality in that, then it could be used for a negative aspect.
Yeah.
Like AI.
Yeah.
Could be used positive, could be used negative,
Yeah.
depending on who's using it.
And that's
Right.
what you were talking about before when you were saying that people can be very evolved in a
That's right.
certain way,
That's
but if
right.
they're missing the love part of it, then it's just going to go off the rails. And so along those lines, for some reason I don't completely understand, a lot of people have been announcing to me that they're atheists. And to me, I don't care. I mean, to me, atheism is just, it's another worldview. And I think it's an important worldview because I believe in like a dialectic of doubt and exploration and, you know, doubt, faith, belief.
Sometimes it's almost better to be not connected to anything, but to have an open mind and heart to everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we say atheists, we think, oh, they don't believe in God, but maybe they just don't believe in the dogma of what most people
Right.
believe in. Maybe they are
Exactly.
open to other things that, you know, so that's why they're always saying, stop judging, stop thinking you know what that other
Mhm.
person feels or understands or knows or anything. Let them be who they need to be.
Yeah,
They're going
and
to
that
get
is
there eventually.
exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. And
Good.
at the same time, like I said, some people are going out of their way to kind of attack me for something that I'm not even saying or doing. You know, it's kind of like, well, I'm an atheist with it, but it's said in a way like
All right.
you're
Like, I don't
dumb.
believe you. I don't believe you. It's nonsense what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
you're
You can't convince me. Yeah.
or you're just kind of like a lesser thinker who's
Yeah.
lemming, and I'm so intelligent that I can't believe in that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that wishful thinking in the sky kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, so it's just been kind of interesting to hear Reggie and Sally Ann talk about being attacked as well. I mean, I don't know if attack is the right word, but being tested as well with some kind of negative, like, whoa, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to be about me, but then
Yeah.
maybe it is about some fundamental trauma that's coming up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it could be from another life. It doesn't have, you don't have to remember everything from
Yeah.
those lives. You just have to be willing to let them up and out. Anything that doesn't serve you any longer, just say to spirit, I don't have to know what it is, but I'd like to release it. Anything holding me back, please take it and transmute it back into love.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you really have to do. You don't have to remember everything and go through the agony of it. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thanks, Rita.
Oh, you're very welcome, honey. Well, this was fabulous. How
Re-
about this?
One sec, Reggie, could you repeat what the name of that song was? Because I'd like to write that down.
Sure.
100,000 Angels
Yeah,
by
100.
my side, something along those lines. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the woman's voice is absolutely beautiful.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Can I say one thing?
Go, Paula.
It just there's just so I just heard this on a podcast. And there's a whole podcast about this. And it just when you were talking, it came to mind that they have found that there are autistic children who cannot speak.
Mm-hmm.
They communicate by maybe typing, or they have some type of, or using a board or something,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't speak. But they have found that they have mental telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
They can read their mother's minds, even if
Mm-hmm.
their mother is in the other room. And it just, I don't know. I just think that as time goes on, that there's going to be more and more things that are going to be shown to us.
100%.
You know,
This
I
is
mean,
just the tip of the iceberg. The more we delve into this, the more we talk about, the more things you're going to see. It's like, you know, when you get a new car, you don't really see that car on the road until you get the car. And then all of a sudden, every other fucking car is that car that you just bought. Right? It's the same thing. The more we talk about it, the more shit you're going to see, the more you're going to understand, the more that's, you know, so it's awesome to be connected to you guys like this is incredible. I'm going to ask that everyone this week pray for each other. Pray for each other for people's physical well-being, emotional well-being, mental well-being, spiritual well-being. Pray for each other, listen to music, you know, do your journaling, whatever it is that you feel takes you to that higher level. But as we pray for each other, we increase that energy, that light. Everybody will be able to feel it. Now, next week, I haven't gotten the topic yet from them, but it'll come. We're still going to be talking, whatever that is. So stay tuned for that. It's very exciting because as I'm doing it, as I'm learning it, and as I tell you, it just builds. The energy just builds. And then hearing all your experiences just makes my heart full. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much love to all of you. Let's make this new year an incredible, incredible new year filled with love, joy, truth of knowing who you are and light.
Thank you.
See you next week. Love you guys.
Thank you guys.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Thank you.